Hello, guys. Welcome back to another weekly outlook. Another week's over, and the last week was very shitty for me because Iran was saying something, Trump was saying something, and at the end, Zelensky said something. So, all price did was hunt my stop loss. So, last week was quite bad. Still, we are back with another weekly outlook, and let's see what to expect for the next week based on the news that is already planned. The war news, we cannot say anything, and Trump can speak anything at any time, and it may hunt your stop loss. So let's just dive right into it and let's see what we can expect technically and based on the plan news. So if we check the news for next week on Monday, we don't have anything. There is no bank holiday, just a plain normal day. It will be a slow start to the day unless there is some news. See, 12 hours ago, Trump has said that we'll have straight open fairly soon. So, 12 hours ago means it was yesterday night at 3 a.m. So he just keeps on speaking something and something. The market reacts. It's just a manipulation of the market. Planned news on Monday, we don't have anything. On Tuesday, we have the producer price index for USD at 6 p.m. The planned news is also giving a very small effect on the price. It is for a very short time because of all the war news that follows. But yeah, we can expect certain momentum. So 6 p.m. we have a producer price index for USD on Tuesday. On Wednesday, again a normal day, no important news on Wednesday. Thursday, we have the unemployment rate for AUD at 7 a.m. in the morning and the GDP for pound at 11:30. So on Thursday we have pound GDP and unemployment rate for odd. These are medium news, not so important, but still will it will have an impact on the price and will trade according to the news. On Friday we don't have anything. It's a pretty normal day. So next week is going to be normal, but you need to pay attention on the war news and you cannot pay attention to them. You just be careful and you make sure that you risk less as possible because anything can happen at any time and your technicals will matter. So let's just check the technicals of what they're saying. Let's start with Euro USD. On the monthly time frame, there was a monthly zone uh, at this point, and we were rejecting the monthly zone 2 months back. But this month, we have got a rejection. So right now, Euro USD is in between two monthly zones, and it has rejected the previous zone, and it has also rejected the previous zone from below and above. So we can say that right now we are in consolidating in between these two zones. Let's look at the smaller time frames and see what is happening. On weekly, we don't have a sell confirmation yet, but we can say that we can wait for a weekly sell setup. So if I apply my Fibonacci retracement rule, so we have reached the sell zone. Let's see how the charts open on Monday and how the weekly candles open. But overall, this week was completely bullish. And the next week, if we get a rejection, we can continue downwards. Till then, we cannot say anything. And of course, the war. If the war ends, it is going to be bullish. If the war continues and we have actual war like attacks on Iran and US, we'll get a bearish momentum. Till that, we cannot say anything. But the technicals say that we are in a sell on the weekly time frame on Euro USD. So let's see how that goes. Daily is the same thing. Based on the Fibonacci retracement, we have a sell. Uh, so I would expect a bearish momentum if the war continues. If not, let's see how it goes. GBPUSD monthly time frame is the same story as Euro USD. We previously rejected the zone which was above, and right now we are rejecting the zone from below. So we can say that we are consolidating in between these two zones. This is happening because of the war scenario. There is no clear momentum of the price, and it's just been consolidating in between two ranges. So it's the same thing on monthly. On weekly, we haven't yet broken the previous weekly zone. We have rejected it. So on Geo, we can say that we have a bullish momentum. There is no bearish signs yet. Daily is the same thing. We had a previous daily zone right about here. And our Friday's candle has broken that zone and will be expecting to continue the bullish momentum based on the technicals. We have a range of about 100 pips bullish on GBPUSD. EURUSD, I'm not sure about the same thing because we are rejecting and we are in a Fibonacci sell on weekly. Let's look at pound yen. Pound yen last week was completely bullish. Let's look at the monthly candle first. Monthly is completely bullish. This is the previous one, not was, this is the previous monthly zone, and we have a zone right about here where we got a rejection. And it is looking like we are breaking the previous monthly zone. On weekly, last week's candle has kind of closed above the previous zone, and we have broken the previous weekly zone. So this is the previous weekly zone, whereas this is the previous monthly zone. This is also the previous monthly zone. I'll just shift this zone down. Yeah, this is the previous weekly zone, and we have broken above, so we can continue upwards. But till what price we can continue? So let's look at the history of the charts. So we have a previous weekly zone here, and we have not yet broken that. So I'll just delete this. This is the previous weekly zone. We have not broken above the previous. If the daily candle closes above this price, then we can continue upwards. So I'll wait to see what happens on Monday, and then we can continue the bullish momentum. Right now, we are not at all bearish on pound yen. Nothing at all. Nothing at all indicates that we are going to be bearish on pound yen. Everything is going bullish. And if the war stops, it will continue its upward momentum. So this was for Euro USD, GBP USD, and Pound Yen. Basically, it is all uncertain, quite uncertain because of the war. Let's look at gold. Monthly, we can see that there has been a rejection on gold, and currently the monthly candle is bullish. So we can expect a bullish momentum. On weekly, it's the same scenario. We are expecting a bullish momentum. This was the previous weekly zone. We have rejected that, and we are continuing to move upwards. Last 3 weeks have been bullish. Last week closed bullish. Let's look at the daily time frame. So what happened on Friday was, on Thursday actually, this was the previous daily zone, and the candle closed above the zone. This is also a kind of rejection on the daily. So on Monday, if the war stops, we can continue moving upwards, and we have a quite good range of about $440. But if the war continues and if there is any news in 2 days, we can expect this momentum, and we have the same range of about $410. So it all depends on war and what happens on Monday. Let's see. But we have pretty good ranges for bullish momentum also, and pretty good ranges for a bearish momentum also. So let's see how the candle closes on Monday and what's the news on war. If there is any news today or if there is any news tomorrow, based on that, we can trade on Monday. So once again, I like to point out that if the war stops, gold is going to be bullish, and if the war continues, gold is going to be bearish. You would ask, why would gold be bearish if the war continues? It is because dollar being used as the main currency in exchange of oil and gas. So if the war continues, they won't accept the US dollar anymore as the main currency, and they are in talks with China to accept yuan as the payment currency for oil. And China is saying, if not yuan, you can use solid gold. So basically, the equivalent value of solid gold is going to go down compared to the US dollar. Hence, the gold is on a bearish momentum if the war continues. And if we reach an agreement between US and Iran, the gold price will rise again. It will come to its original equivalent value in this time. So let's see what happens in the war, and let's see how the things turn out to be. On silver, it's the same scenario. Let's look at monthly. Monthly, it's we have rejection, and the current monthly candle is bullish. Weekly, actually, we broke the previous weekly zone 2 weeks back, but we did not continue the bearish momentum. It's because of the war news. We are looking at a bullish momentum on silver. Daily, it's the same scenario. We had a previous daily zone right about here. This was the previous weekly zone. I'll just delete that. Daily, we have broken above the previous daily zone, and we are looking at a bullish momentum. We can expect a continuation again if the war continues. We'll expect a bearish momentum, and if the war stops, we'll expect a bullish momentum. So on silver, we have a range of about $12 if we continue bullish, and if we continue bearish, there is a small range. We have a range of about $7.5, $7.5. So that is it for this week. Basically, we have no exact bias, but we know what not to do, and it all depends on the war news. If someone says something, the charts are going to hunt your stop losses or give you a lot of money in profits. It depends on what side of trade you are in that time and what news comes up. So I would suggest just be careful, risk as less as possible, and be mindful of the news. Always stay updated and trade with discipline. If you take a loss in a day, just move away from the markets, don't continue. And that's it. And from next week, I'll see you live. I know I haven't been live this for a few weeks now, but from next week, I'll be live every day, and I'll see you guys during that time. And let's trade together. Thank you. And I'll see you the next time.